Cracks in brick, cracks in block, sticking windows or doors. Settling or sinking foundation, it's a fact. Foundation problems don't get better with time, but they do get better when you call APS.
This is the morning edition of the Daily Weather Briefing video. This is for Tuesday, September 20th. I'm James Spann. Hot weather. Headlines are forecast in the short term. We'll get some heat relief late this week on Friday. Watching Fiona, and there could be a tropical system in the Gulf of Mexico in about 10 days. So the tropics are certainly worth watching. Let's go right to the maps, and we'll start with the upper air look. And yep, there's that big upper high stretching out across the southern U.S. Hot and dry. We're expecting highs up in the middle 90s today. We'll see mid-90s tomorrow and probably low 90s on Thursday. And as we have seen in many recent days, nothing on radar here. We do note a couple of showers over northern Georgia, one up in Tennessee. And let me just say that there's actually a chance there could be a few very small isolated showers across the state later today. The chance of any one spot getting wet, only about 1 in 10, but there might be a blip on the radar, but the pattern stays generally dry. We're in the 60s this morning to start the day, and again, mid-90s. More like August today. Check the watch warning map across the country. Pretty quiet. Flash flood watches for parts of the southwestern states out around the Four Corners. This is the severe weather outlook today. And yeah, look at the little green circle here. And again, no severe weather, but there could be an isolated storm somewhere this afternoon during the heat of the day, kind of like an August afternoon. Again, with the upper high nearby and limited moisture, most places no rain, but just keep that in mind. The main chance of any severe weather today around the Great Lakes, the standard slight risk for parts of Wisconsin and Michigan. This is tomorrow, a chance of severe storms from near Indianapolis up into the western part of New England. And day 3, which is Wednesday, a marginal risk on the mid-Atlantic coast. Here's the rain for the next 7 days, and a little bit maybe for the northern part of the state. The next really meaningful chance of showers will most likely be at the end of the weekend, late Sunday, Sunday night into early Monday, with a cold front coming in. And up in the Tennessee Valley, maybe a half inch. But for the rest of the state, probably not a lot as the general dry pattern continues. So the tropics, typically it's the topic this time of the year. And, of course, we've got Fiona. This could be a really big hurricane in coming days, but that stays east of the United States. And then there are 2 other waves monitored by the Hurricane Center. We'll focus on Hurricane Fiona early this morning. Fiona is now packing sustained winds of 115 miles per hour. And that makes it a major Category 3 hurricane. And this is near Grand Turk Island. And again, the weather conditions will improve across the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico today as the system lifts northward. Here's the forecast track coming from the National Hurricane Center. And this is expected really to reach Category 4 strength. And the only problem here, it's Bermuda later this week. Late Thursday night, early Friday morning. The center passing maybe just a little west of the island, but it's really close. And obviously, they'll have to prepare for hurricane conditions there. And then the system becomes post-tropical this weekend, comes up toward the Canadian Maritimes. And, of course, all of this is east of the contiguous U.S. They only issue some rough surf for the east coast of the U.S. Here's the intensity guidance. And, again, you can see this it gets a Category 3 this morning. Possibly reaching Category 4 strength later today, and then tailing off up in the cooler water by the weekend. But for us, we've got one feature to watch here. This is the 5-day outlook from NHC, and we've got the 2 waves now with a medium chance of developing. And, of course, the one up there in the higher latitudes, that's moving north, that's no problem. And obviously the one to watch, it is that lower latitude system that'll be coming across the Windward Islands in a couple of days, and then into the Caribbean. So, and again, what you're going to see, plastered all over the internet and the face bag, it's the deterministic stuff. You want to look at the ensemble output for anything meaningful at this point, and this is the ensemble output of the European Global Model, and this is the probabilistic outlook of a tropical depression forming over the next 10 days. And, of course, the red, that's Fiona, but underneath Fiona, you see those probabilities are in the 50 to 60% bracket across the Caribbean. That's that wave that'll be coming across the Windward Islands. And there's a real chance that this could enter the Gulf of Mexico as a tropical storm or maybe a hurricane in 10 days. And, of course, now everybody's going to play the guessing game. Well, is this going to Mexico or Galveston or Gulf Shores or, Panama City or Tampa? We don't know that yet. Nobody knows that yet. You can't forecast the upper air pattern. You can't forecast what drives these features more than 10 days in advance. You just cannot do that. But it is clear that we'll need to be watching the Gulf in about 10 days. So coastal residents, be aware of that. And let's go through the GFS. We show this every day here. This is the 06E run valid today at 4. And in the short term, it's easy. There's the sprawling upper high. It's going to be hot today, mid-90s. And again, you don't see any green here, but just keep in mind there could be an isolated shower or storm somewhere. Most of you, no rain. Same thing tomorrow. Mid-90s, hot, a lot of sun. Chance of any one spot getting wet, really small. So Thursday, there's a dry front that'll be coming through late in the day. And again, I just don't think you notice the front. Most spots over the northern half of the state with low 90s on Thursday. Mid-90s for South Alabama. And Friday will be a different kind of day. It's going to feel much, much better. Heat levels come way down. The high Friday, low 80s. We'll have a north breeze. The humidity comes down. Friday morning will be close to 60. It'll be a great night for the high school football games. And Saturday, not a bad day at all. Sunny. And understand we'll be in the mid-80s. You won't need a jacket here, but it won't be in the mid-90s. Mid-80s and many spots are going to be in the 50s early Saturday morning for that fall feel. And then Sunday, the next front comes in, and this will not be coming through in dry fashion. We do think this one will be squeezing out some rain. This is Sunday afternoon about 4. So we'll mention the chance of showers Sunday afternoon and Sunday night into really early Monday with that. The high Sunday, low 80s with clouds increasing. And then by Monday, the better chance of showers by midday shifting into east and south Alabama in advance of the front. And Monday, highs probably drop in the 70s for the northern half of the state, maybe mid-70s. It will really feel like fall through much of next week. This is a week from today. This is Tuesday, the 27th. Trough moving off the Atlantic coast, a northwest flow aloft, and a really, really nice day. Lows way down in the 50s, maybe some upper 40s for the cooler pockets. The high will be close to 80, just some great weather. Let's go out 10 days. This is Thursday of next week. September 29th, and obviously the focus is what you're going to see, in the Gulf of Mexico right here. And remember, as we discussed, this is deterministic output, and this is 240 hours out. Well, you just look for trends out here. So let's look at the European, and it's very similar. It's got the meaningful tropical system in about the same place. It's a little slower. So most all of the global models are suggesting there could be a significant tropical system, maybe a hurricane, in the Gulf toward the end of next week, in about 10 days or so. And again, I stress for everybody with the weather anxiety, and so many people have that, don't get hung up in some of the doomsday fear porn stuff that you see. Nobody knows. It might not develop, but the pattern favors development. But will it go to Mexico or South Padre or Galveston, Lake Charles, New Orleans, Mobile, Panama City, Tampa? We don't know that. Way, way too early to know. Just watch for trends and watch for good information sources, and we'll keep you advised. Here's the rain for Birmingham coming off the European ensemble between now and the 5th of October. And you see the big spread out there. In the longer range, that's the uncertainty with a tropical feature. You get some of the members over 8 inches. The mean, though, is what you're looking for, the green line, and it's a little over 1 inch. And this will fluctuate a good bit, of course, as we get closer based on the tropical feature down there. We'll get out of these 90s soon here. Here's the temperatures from the National Blend of Models, 90s through Thursday. Then we're done with the 90s for a while. Are we done with the 90s for the rest of the year? Probably not. But, again, look at next week. Highs around 80, lows in the 50s. It's going to be a beautiful fall-like week next week. And, again, it will be a week of watching the tropics, of course, but weather should feel pretty good here. And the latest 8 to 14-day guidance in the House, this is for September 27th through October 3rd. And if this verifies, temperatures here will be pretty close to average. So did you see that string of lights in the sky last night? A lot of people did. And a lot of people are getting good at this. They know exactly what that is, but a lot of people still don't know, and they send notes, what am I seeing here? That's the one of the Starlink satellite arrays. Elon Musk and the SpaceX program, they're launching many of these satellites to provide internet access globally. And of course, a lot of the astronomers don't like it. They call it, junk pollution up there. But again, those are Starlink satellites, and you'll see those passing overhead from time to time. Nice sunset last night. I think most people recognize that. That's the campus of Auburn University. Nice shot there. That was taken from Weiss Lake up in Cherokee County. And look at that Gulf of Mexico. It has been so quiet this year, and it just looks like a lake. And, of course, with growing concern for what might happen down there next week, it'll probably be a lot different in about 10 days, but it will certainly enjoy that nice view out there while we can. Headed to Sheffield, Alabama today, up in the Shoals. Got Sheffield High School. That'll be a lot of fun. And tomorrow I've got Ardent Preschool. That's over in the Greystone area. Thursday, Gordo Elementary, home of the Green Wave. And then Friday, got a big homeschool group in Trustful. And then Saturday, we have a book signing back in Tuscaloosa. And again, a lot of you know I do support for the University of Alabama in the athletics, and I'm there at the home games. And we typically do this once a year. We're going to be set up on the Walk of Champions. If you'd like to come by and see us, we have all the shirts and the hats and get personally signed copies of Weathering Life, and all you can do is pray. We'll be there from 1 to 4:30. And it's going to be a wild day. I've got to do the weather live on television from the stadium this week. I'll be working the Saturday shift on TV as well. But anyway, it's all good. I have enjoyed every day of my life. It could not be beat. I'm living a dream. So that's it for the morning edition of the Daily Weather Briefing video. We'll have notes on the blog, alabamawx.com. If you can, join us this evening on ABC 3340 News at 4, 5, 6, and 10 o'clock. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and God bless.
Sagging, bouncing, or uneven floors? Call Alabama Professional Services. Standing water or high humidity? Call APS. Nasty odors or dangerous mold? Call APS. Critters, bugs, or other pests? That's right, call APS. It's a fact. Crawl space problems don't get better with time, but they do get better when you call APS. Call Alabama Professional Services today.